Hello everyone, welcome to your favorite educational podcast, Tutor Talks. Today I'm your host, Carmen Pollock, and I'm here with
the most brilliant co-host in the world, Sarah Rennie.
Okay guys, today on Educational Elaborations, we are going to be kicking off episode 1, our pilot episode, with UNESCO Mobile Learning Week for 2024. Sarah, how are you feeling? How is this hitting you?
You know, I'm actually very excited to speak about this topic because as a future educator myself, I'm just so passionate about the younger generation, and I'm just so excited to teach them about this exciting week we have here.
Oh, I agree. All right, listeners, prepare yourself for the next 8 minutes to just chat about some education.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
So when I went and watched that YouTube video from the 2020 Mobile Learning Week, that was mid-COVID as we spoke about, and one of the researchers who really stood out to me was Mr. Wayne Holmes, and he spoke about how when we come into online learning and digitalized learning, our goal isn't exams and focusing on exams and getting content done. Our goal is how effectively we can teach something over a long or short period of time. And how do you feel about this? Like, what's your opinion here?
So, you know, when I was at school, which was a couple of years ago, COVID was peak, it was rough, and everyone was stressed. Now, when it came to exams, our school unfortunately cancelled them, which wasn't actually unfortunate, as I think the learners excelled more in a sense where continuous assessments came into play.
I hear you.
With continuous assessments, the learners now take their given knowledge and put it into a way that is not parrot learning in parrot fashion, which I think is the way forward moving on in learning.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that is one of the great objectives of mobile learning is that there isn't necessarily an exam that you're working towards, but rather just working towards learning and educating.
Things like projects and, you know, all those things really help group work, and it helps the learners to not just study. They can use these projects and assessments to engage with their peers and focus more on what the actual outcome of the project is.
Yeah, 100%.
So the next topic we are going to be discussing is the use of social media in education in our classrooms. Now, this is often a very controversial topic for many teachers today, and I feel like it could be lots of positives, lots of negatives, and, you know, all about that. Carmen, what do you think?
Man, I think social media is really only effective if you utilize it. If you keep it under control. I mean, when we were in school, one of the private schools, the upper class schools in George, had iPads that they used, but they had programs put on all the iPads for the kids so that they couldn't access certain types of social media. And I think that is the way forward. We have to minimize children's, technical time while utilizing it.
So you actually sparked a very interesting idea in my head. One of the little girls or pair for, they have iPads in their school as they are more privileged than others, and this actually had gave me a very good idea. The teachers have a program on their iPads, and this disallows the students to use any games or any social media during school time. But what the positive is, it comes back at 4 o'clock when all the students are finished sport and their cultural activities, and they can start homework. So they can still have time to play their games after school, but during school time it is banned, and I think that is a very brilliant way forward.
I agree, and the best part about this is that students cannot access their games during break times. So they have to utilize their breaks to either get homework done or to just go play outside.
And talk to kids. Kids don't talk anymore.
Kids don't talk at all.
They do not.
Agree. Listen, just have basic conversations, guys. So
put your phones down and talk.
Have a little conversation. Right, back on our topic of UNESCO. UNESCO is the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. UNESCO is basically just all the educational departments around the world coming together online, and they run a program called the Mobile Learning Week. Sarah, tell us what they are, tell us their objectives, what they're meant to be doing.
Okay, so Mobile Learning Week is very exciting, especially for our students and teachers, as this Digital Learning Week aims to foster inclusive and ethical practices while cultivating and collaborating partnerships to achieve a greater impact. So all of these UNESCO heroes, in my opinion, when they collaborate together, they really look at all the positives and the negatives of technology and how we can use it in our schooling systems today. That's why this week is so important for our scholars.
I hear you. And I think that one of their objectives is to use collaborative partnerships. And I mean, that,
for sure.
And that is many people working together. And if you can have many inputs on a type of education, I think that it could be very beneficial.
I mean, if we did this podcast by ourselves, no one would listen to it.
No one would listen, but we're great together.
We really are.
The best.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think the time is up. This looks like the end of our podcast today. And on our next episode, please catch us for an exciting interview with our lecturer, also known as Mr. J. Jacobs. What a legend. We will be interviewing him about being a lecturer at Nelson Mandela University. So stay tuned for that, and you are welcome to watch our amazing blooper videos at the end of this podcast.
It's going to be so great. We're so funny.
Thank you, Carmen, for joining me today.
Thank you, Sarah, for joining me. Great as always.
And ciao from the
Tutor Talks.
Okay, so question number 1. I've literally just said all that.
I know, but that was my part.
Okay, so the first question we're going to kick off with is what...
All right.
Yeah. And ciao from the
Tutor Talks. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Hello. No.
language dictionary.
Open. That was the word.